everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of
RoundTable PodRacers.
And we have such an exciting show today.
Yeah.
Can't wait. So,
Let's introduce ourselves, shall we?
yes. So my name is Anna from LeGeekyLiife.
I am Julie from InfinityJules.
And
Together we make RoundTable PodRacers.
we have cool microphones today.
Yes, we do.
It talks about our topic.
So Anna, what are our microphones today?
Our microphones tell us about our episode.
I would do the same, but it's not working right now.
Ultra Sabers.
Yes.
They're awesome.
They are.
So our episode today is on lightsabers.
Exclusively
Fights.
yes.
Lightsaber fights. It should be more specific.
Yes. Lightsaber combat in films and in animation.
So we can't wait to show you. And we have special guests today. So we'll introduce them later.
Yes. So
Stay tuned.
definitely. Don't go away. Or we'll use these on you. So what's new in the Star Wars world as of this last week?
So there hasn't been much lately, but I came across an interesting article in Hollywood Report about Donald Glover and how he felt like the baby of the divorce with the whole change of director from before to now, Ron Howard.
Yeah. Because I think that in an interview he mentioned that he didn't really know too many details about the divorce. But he like you said, felt like the baby. Like he was kind of just stuck in the middle.
Yeah, and it's very interesting because we didn't hear so much about what the actors had to say about the whole new transition from directors. But he mentioned like, I was their first choice, and now I feel like, I don't know.
Like he's not the new director's first choice.
Exactly, so...
And for those of you who don't know what the hell we're talking about, Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, is playing Lando Calrissian in the new Han Solo film that is coming out in 2019, right?
No, 2018.
2018. Yes, 2018. I thought we were in 2018 for a minute. I'm time traveling.
Where's your TARDIS?
I don't know. Get me the DeLorean.
Yeah, but it's very interesting, and I like that he was very honest, and he was just like, this is what I feel, and it's okay. So I appreciated his honesty.
Because I want to know what happened. I want to know the scoop. But I feel like it's something like really, really drama-y. Because it had to do with the head of Lucasfilms, which is the lady from...
Kathleen Kennedy.
Her.
The president of Lucasfilm. I want to be her.
I mean, don't we all?
But I love that Star Wars has a female president.
Yeah.
Girl power.
I agree.
Yeah.
I just wonder what it could have been.
I feel like they try to change Star Wars so much, and it's like, we have the perfect...
There's been like a lot of like complaints here and there about the new Star Wars stuff, like too much homage to the original trilogy, which I see it.
I can't blame them.
Yeah, like that's what gets the fans really hyped. Like that scene in Rogue One with R2 and C-3PO, they totally didn't need to be there at all. But the amount of cheers in the movie theater when they came on was pretty crazy.
Which will have a whole new episode about Rogue One. Because I can't wait to talk about all the Easter eggs. Yes. Oh, that's good. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about our outfits.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that. Do you want to start?
Sure. So my shirt was actually a present from my lovely brother. And I love that it has, I believe this is Japanese.
Yes.
I don't want to get it wrong. But I think he got it either at Macy's or at Target. So one of the two. Okay. And obviously it was in the boys section, so it's a little bit big on me, but...
That makes boys shirts make for the best sleeve cuffs.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes.
What about you?
So this shirt is from Target. I actually bought it for my dad for Father's Day, but I liked it so much, so I kept it for myself. It is his size though, so it's huge on me. I had to tie it into a little knot and cut the sleeves as well 3 times. It's a Death Star, and it has like the little plans, I guess, and it just says Death Star and Star Wars on it. And then my skirt,
which is amazing.
That's our cue to. It has lightsabers on it, and it has Darth Vader's, Mace Windu's, Luke's from Return of the Jedi. It has the Graflex, and it has half of Darth Maul's lightsaber.
It's beautiful.
It's her universe. If that weren't obvious enough.
I feel like we're gonna have an outfit with her universe every time we're gonna be here.
It's gonna be like one piece at least from her universe.
Because Ashley's amazing.
Yes, she is. If you're watching, please.
We love you, Ashley.
Be on our show.
So we were talking about toys, and we have a little mystery toy of the week.
Yeah, we kind of realized that we always bring a little mystery toy to the show. In the first episode, we had the 2
Smuggler's
droids,
Bounty,
and in the second episode, we had the
Leia.
So in this episode,
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, I put it really far away from my chair. Oops. We have a collector's edition Rancor.
Dramatic effects.
So the story of this is kind of weird. I was cleaning my junk room in my house, and my stepdad owns a lot of Gundams, and they're all still in the box, so they were kind of like covering this, and I had no idea this existed.
Which is a lot, because to cover all of
that. And it just kind of, my mom was like, oh yeah, this is yours. Rick said it wasn't his. Rick is my stepdad. Shout out to you.
We love you, Rick.
And so now I have a collector's edition, highly detailed vinyl model kit of a Rancor and the little rhino guy. And he actually apparently chokes the little rhino guy.
Yeah, but it looks like he was his slave and like got away or something.
I think I'm gonna make it so that he's like eating him.
No,
I think that'll look cooler. But I was reading the instructions for it. I'll try to open it up here. And apparently you're supposed to put it in warm water because it like molds it better or something, and that's how you can cut it. I've never done anything with models before. I've never painted.
I mean,
anything.
the models that I've had done, well, I don't have any here, but it's just like either Legos,
yeah,
or just the normal ships one that it's just
like
put it together
pre-painted, and you just like, yeah. The ships would be really cool to do. Oh my god. But so this is the little Rancor. Probably can't see it. Maybe we could put like a little video later on of it.
Yeah.
This is his face, and it just comes with like a million parts, and yeah. So really cool stuff. Maybe we can make a video just about us making the Rancor, and you guys just chilling with us as we do that and ignore you.
Maybe we can do like a live.
Like a live video recording type thing.
Yeah.
We should do that with my Millennium Falcon as well.
Oh yeah, sometime. Awesome. So, like we mentioned before, our episode today is going to be on lightsaber fighting, and our guests are two very important and cool
and knowledgeable about this aspect.
An amazing couple.
Yes, they are amazing.
Should we talk a little bit about them before?
I think so.
Yes.
Before they come in.
You want to start?
So, Alfred and Molly.
Molly and Alfred.
Molly and Alfred. Alfred and Molly. Power couple of lightsaber. Alfred is our instructor, and Molly as well, obviously.
Yeah.
In SaberCraft, which is our saber choreography group. So they are very knowledgeable of that stuff.
I think they were the right couple to bring into the show.
Yes. And Alfred has been helping us out a little bit with the podcast and figuring out how to edit and put stuff together and all that stuff. So we wanted them to be the first ones. Also, they are
Alfred.
our weekly Star Wars inspiration.
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for them,
I don't think I'd be as obsessed with Star Wars as I am right now. Probably. But not like
the fighting. I think that we understand now and have an appreciation of like fightings and going back and seeing the choreography and all the good stuff.
Able to be like, that's that. Oh, I gotta do that.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So we are going to bring them in a second. We just need to adjust our scenes and all that stuff. So we'll be back in a jiffy. Yeah.
Stay tuned. Hi guys!
Hi.
Thank you guys for coming, and this is Alfred Smith and Molly Smith.
Hi.
Hello.
Miss Master Echo, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Super cool. Lightsaber couple.
warriors.
That's what they call us these days. You know,
Yeah.
Mrs. Smith. Good cover.
Yep. So they're here with us today to discuss lightsaber fighting and choreography. So let's get started. After dark hours.
So, lightsaber fights.
Lightsabers like these.
Yes, lightsabers like those. So all of our lightsabers are ultra sabers, which I'm sure we'll end up doing a video exclusively on lightsabers. And yeah.
Yeah.
So we were talking during the little break that we had, and we realized that there's like a really big evolution in the fights from the original trilogy to prequels to what's coming out now.
What are your thoughts? We were talking about how the original trilogy has less movement but more emotion, and then we see the prequels
opposite.
have way more movement and less emotions in their fightings. Is that something that you guys also think, or what are your thoughts about that?
I would agree with that. I would also say that, in addition to that, the new movies, I feel like, have a lot less of the lightsaber sticking.
Okay.
There are a lot less locks because I feel like they realized that it doesn't work so
Unless you get cling wrap, right?
right, yeah.
It's definitely a lot harder to do, right? You know,
Yeah.
especially in the midst of the action. I don't know. I like the emotion of the prequels, and it's so fast paced. It's like those are my favorite battles. They're after looking at them analytically, trying to break it down frame by frame and looking at the dynamics and the movement and all that. I have such a huge appreciation for all the work that was done specifically for the prequels. I mean, there's a lot of people that like poo-poo on the prequels and and I get that, but it's kind of like it's the action sequence pack that just makes the movie. Yeah, I know it's a great idea, right?
It's very green with us, Rory.
And it's now they also incorporate 3 people battles.
Yes.
And that, I mean, it takes so much time, so much coordination, CGI battles, incredible. First of its kind.
I agree. I love the emotion in the original trilogy. Like, Empire Strikes Back fight is probably one of my favorite fights, just because of how, like, there's barely any clashing. It's all locks, and it's all Vader one-handed. He's just toying with Luke, and it's like they're having a conversation through their fight. But in the new ones, they're really fun to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't do flips. I wish, but
Soon.
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 We'll get there.
I know.
We're gonna be Yoda. That's still
Up in there.
yeah.
I also feel like the original episode 5 showed us what lightsabers were capable of.
Yeah.
Like we didn't get to see that much in episode 4. So I feel like episode 5 with that Luke and that Darth Vader fight, like, oh, these are lightsabers. This is a lightsaber fight, and it was like, okay, they stick to each other, but I can kill you with this, and he's just going at it, and Luke is like, I'm not 100% sure, but I got this, and so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that has a really big part to play with, like, the production of the saber itself. I remember watching a documentary that in the 4th one, they literally had, like, light rods, like the, oh my god, what are they called?
Fluorescent.
Yes, the fluorescent light rods.
Which is terrifying.
Exactly. So they had to, just that tiny little scene of Obi-Wan and Vader fighting, they had to replace it, like, 4 times. So I think that scene was so whack in comparison to other lightsaber fights because of that reason.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, now they're freaking using ultra sabers basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, which is definitely an upgrade. Those won't shatter into your face.
No.
No, plus now we see them training way more. Like, Ewan McGregor, I saw a bunch of behind-the-scenes videos of him training for the Anakin Obi fight or before, and he would get into it doing his little
Yeah,
lightsaber
there's
sounds.
so many cuts because of that.
But they went into like actually practicing and combined different martial arts and like swords, and it actually shows more in the movies. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah. And I think all that makes it more applicable to real life because people doing these martial arts are like, oh, I can do that. I do that, in fact. And it makes it more believable and relatable because you're watching the fight going, I've seen that before. But it's a new take on everything.
Yeah.
They also look better to do in person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think if we did like Empire Strikes Back, it would look awesome. But at the same time, like half of us will be speeding it up by like 3.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. You
Versus-
tend to do that.
yeah.
What do you mean?
Anna?
I know like fast.
I took my time.
That's not us. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, but going to that and being the speed, I love that they also brought the fighting to the cartoons. And, you know, we wish that we could fight like that Ahsoka Darth Vader fight.
Oh my
It's like, I wish I could do it and flip 1,000 times.
Yeah.
But,
I should be Darth Maul.
yeah.
Soon.
Just gonna rent a bounce house and just
Just
like,
What a great idea.
We should get a
Trampoline would be
trampoline.
Trampoline,
Yeah, we should get a
yeah.
trampoline and have like an outdoor workout class one day.
yes.
It's
And
hot.
I'll help coordinate it because
Winter.
flips are dangerous if you don't know what you're doing.
Illuminate on the trampoline.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
Armor.
In winter.
In winter, yes, definitely.
But-
So, speaking of the fighting in cartoons, we wanted to talk about the very emotional and very short fight between Darth Maul and Obi-Wan in Rebels.
It
If
was
you haven't
perfect.
seen it, skip.
It was perfect.
Thank you.
It was all that it needed to be,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it started like how Phantom Menace started.
Mhm.
That fight, I mean, really Darth Maul couldn't start with the moves that he used to kill Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
So,
And Obi-Wan knew.
exactly. He
Uh-huh.
got into a stance and it's like, oh, bro. Like,
Seen it
no.
before.
Yeah.
I love the like change in position when they were just kind of like having that little face-off with each other too.
Mhm.
Like, I remember he did his Obi-Wan stance, but then he switches to like a Qui-Gon stance right before Darth Maul like attacks, and it's like,
Great little nod.
yeah,
Hats off. And, oh my goodness. So everybody complains, oh, it was too short, I wanted to see more. No, you get plenty of fighting with every other
Mhm.
fight.
exactly.
Every other fight. That one needed to be that short because I feel like it just shows how much more superior and calm and collected Obi-Wan is.
Because he's also outcast Ben Kenobi now, and Ben is a lot more mature than
Yeah.
Obi-Wan was when he was a Jedi. Well, he's still a Jedi, but Jedi Order, you know.
What are your thoughts, Alfred?
I think it's one of the most amazing battles, only because it really harkens back to like early Japanese swordsmanship, right? So, one of the biggest challenges that I believe that the choreographers found with this is that lightsaber battles are not like any other battles. They're not your standard broadsword battle. They're not your standard katana battles because the weapon is so different. So the choreography is vastly different. I mean, certain things you can see with staff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the shape, the way how it flows. So the lightsaber's vastly different. And with this particular fight, we see something of old, something that you rarely ever see. And I think it harkens back to I think it's the Japanese swordsman style of iaido, which is the art of drawing the saber. And I mean, if you ever go to one of those classes, it's endless hours on the art and the perfection of drawing your saber for a strike. And the idea would be that you're only drawing your saber to end it. It's a one-shot deal. I'm not taking out the saber to go back and forth. It's out, Kill Bill style, bloody walls, it's done, and put away. By the time the camera's back on the samurai, they're already, sitting down while the other one is sliced in half, and it's so much like that. So I think, going back to how you mentioned, like, the tip of the hat, I think it goes to that. You know, you have these two masters, and especially with Ben Kenobi, he's been on this planet probably going through this battle over and over in his head. You know, like marathon runners, they have to picture the race that they're going to go in and prepare their minds. So who knows the endless days, seasons, years that he's been waiting for this battle. And it's just like, it's so perfect. And it's kind of like you've been practicing for that test forever. You open the booklet and you look at it and you're like, this is so simple that probably it was 1,000 miles per hour in his head. He just saw it and it's like, oh, this is so easy. I'm going to ace this. Bang, bang.
Yeah, 18 years. Because remember, he took Luke when he was born. And then right after the fight, we see Luke. And we see him running across.
And not only that, but we see like the little preview of them talking, and how he's like talking to Maul, like, look what you have become. And they're going at it. So it's like they're also showing, okay, we went through this crazy path and we both had our different journeys to go back at it. And they had the decency of like, I'm going to face my opponent, but then destroy it. And then in the whole episode, because I loved the Darth Maul story, so I love how the whole episode is showing you Maul going through the desert or what he's been through. So you don't want to see him like die so horribly. Like he deserved that.
He seemed almost like he regretted being evil the whole time. He regretted giving into the dark side. Like that final moment almost seemed like he was like good. Let the good win.
Because the thing is,
why do you say that?
Well, I've always thought that Maul was always looking for companionship.
Definitely.
Like his whole life, he was always looking to be one with another person. Master apprentice. That's why he wanted like Emperor Palpatine, and we see it in Clone Wars so much. Then the Mandalorians,
and
then with Ezra, then with Savage.
But with each one, didn't you feel that he, other than the Emperor, that he was separating himself as the superior one?
Yeah, for sure. Like
not an equal partnership. It is definitely I'm in charge.
Yeah. But at the same time, like when we see it with
he needs that.
He needs that togetherness, and we see it with Ezra then develop to something more. Because even though he was like, oh, you'll be my apprentice, he kind of did it to like the dad role, like a bad dad role.
Yeah.
So
and then even with Savage, it was like he was hurt.
He was his brother. So he always called it like brother, and
instead of apprentice or underling or something.
So I always feel like he, didn't succeeded to
was lonely.
Be with somebody. He was alone. And he suffered so much. And there's actually an extended version of that episode. And there's more of like, because Filoni mentioned it in the Rebels panel, how he wanted to put flashbacks of Maul in that episode of everything that he's been through and all the partnerships he's had. So that's when I was like, okay, if you wanted to add that in the episode, but it was only 20 minutes, so he couldn't, then it shows you like, he never had somebody to be with. Yeah, so it's kind of sad. At that moment, you're feeling bad.
But are you feeling bad, or is he feeling bad?
Well, in his final moments, he says, "Is he the chosen one?"
It is a tragic tale.
Yeah.
And part of it being such a tragic tale is that he's a fool.
Yeah.
He's a fool, and he doesn't see it. And even to the very end, and that's what I think is so compassionate about Obi-Wan, is that he doesn't kill the fool and leave him. He holds him. And it just goes to show, like, just the brilliance of that kind of writing, of just, like, what is the true value of a Jedi? Compassion.
Yeah.
And what makes Maul such a fool? His selfishness, his
arrogance.
His arrogance.
Which is why he lost that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But in his final moments, he says, I hope he brings balance.
Unless he was talking about the Anakin brand of
balance. Yeah, so that's like
Anakin style.
Maybe it's meant to be one of those things that you believe whatever you want to believe.
What do you think?
I think that in those final moments, he realized his mistakes.
Vader style.
Yeah, that he kind of was like, this fight needed to happen, exactly what Anna was saying, that they needed to face each other. But I think he would have given up on it if he reflected earlier. But I think he was like, I'm already too far gone. I'm already too far down this path. I need to see it through.
Mm.
I don't think he knew he was going to die in that or anything like that. But I think he like accepted it once it happened.
Almost like a relief.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I think it was. More of a relief than anything else. He was finally free of being alone.
Yeah, I do feel he knew that he was gonna die.
Because he did the same freaking move. I mean,
And the way they were talking,
But maybe that's like his 3-point move. He's like, ha ha ha,
I mean,
got you last time.
I mean, like, let's view it the other way around. If he would have beaten up Obi-Wan by that, like, that would have been really, haha, I got you the same way I got your master, you're not better.
yeah.
Arrogance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Arrogance.
I
And-
feel-
and
yeah.
he did not play that card.
I think he
No.
was arrogant during the fight. I definitely think
Oh yeah, and I feel like he wouldn't have changed it because he was lost.
Yeah.
Like he was lost because even at moments that we see him talking to Ezra and Ezra being like, "But look at this! Like, do you really want this? Like, it's like when they're going through the holocron. That's one of my favorite episodes.
Yes.
He's still like, no, this is what I need. And then he knew at that moment, oh, I'm gonna meet with Obi-Wan, and I'm gonna die. But whatever, I'm not gonna change because I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
Very stubborn.
Wow.
Very stubborn.
I don't know. I see it completely opposite. I see that he is evil, he is arrogant, and he's gonna ride this to the end because he's so confident he's gonna win. And it's a big surprise in the end, and he's crushed.
I can also see it like that.
Crushed. I
feel,
hope he brings balance. Meaning, I hope he kills you too. It's like, I didn't subscribe to that.
No, yeah. If we can write it, I feel like I can write it both ways.
Yeah. Because I do agree that I think he's arrogant up until the very end.
Yeah.
But I see that slight relief at the end. But I think, I don't know. Like I said,
And
maybe up through interpretation.
And I was just about to say, maybe that's just the hallmark Star Wars. Everyone has a character they can relate to, and everyone can relate to that character in different ways.
Yeah.
So maybe they left it open to interpretation, so that way it was like, oh, everyone can find something redeeming in every character, even Maul.
Exactly.
Well,
He's like the only like true evil is Palpatine.
Mhm.
And
even then, still has redeeming characteristics.
I also look at that. He had so many opportunities to play the exact same, to go down the same road that Ventress did.
yes.
Like, he could have gotten whatever he needed from the holocron and been like, you know what, I'm out of here. In fact, I'm done. I'm going to be gray or what have you, or I'm going to be a bounty hunter. I'm
or
going to
with
do
his
something.
legs.
But
I
he
mean,
goes all through this journey to find Obi-Wan. It almost seems like he's still fit in that mindset that his master put him of like, the Jedi are our true enemy, and your mission is
to kill.
to kill. I raised you this way, and you're gonna finish it.
He also wants revenge.
Oh yeah.
Obi-Wan took his legs. So, Ventress didn't have that. Ventress
That's
was
true.
just like, screw you, Duke, I'm out.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, and I feel like it also ties in perfectly to the movie. Like you said, it's revenge. Like, we can't forget that this happened before. Obi-Wan
Revenge of
cut
the
his
Sith.
leg and dumped him in that enormous hole that somehow he survived.
I
So
still
it
understand.
ties back to the movie. So like, oh yeah, remember, this is a bad guy.
Mhm.
He killed Qui-Gon.
Can we put chimes or bells or something under this so we could play them like bongos or a xylophone?
Yeah, we can do that for the last one.
Glockenspiel.
Ooh.
For those of you who are listening and not watching, what we're talking about are our bobblehead pop collection that we have sitting in front of us. But we have quite a few of them.
Yeah.
They're all bobbleheads, and they move every time we move.
Yeah, 'cause
On
my
those.
table is like weird.
So now we have some questions for you guys.
Okay, so if you were in the Star Wars universe, what would be your dream saber? Color, hilt.
Yes, all of those cool questions.
You first.
The wooden one that the Wookiee Padawan had.
Oh, that's really
Pretty much that.
okay.
Color?
Yeah.
Mhm.
What color? For the lights.
Probably purple or white.
Okay.
I love
it. I like it too.
Purple, for sure.
Okay.
Nice Windows, right? Purple right here.
Yeah.
Right. And then I think the style. I've had the opportunity of checking out a couple of the props from the movies. I know that they had them in Times Square for a while at a Star Wars exhibit, and you could check out all the various ones. And the one that kept calling to me, whispering my name, was Palpatine's. Because it's so elegant, and the gold on it, it shimmers. It's just gorgeous. And like no matter what, like I would walk away.
To the dark side.
Do it.
Do it.
Yes.
Speaking of saber colors, once upon a time we were at an event and this lady wanted to take a photo with the lightsabers. So I'm carrying a purple one. She looks at it and goes, I want to take a picture with the lightsabers, but I don't want the purple one because I don't like girly colors. And I giggled to myself, thinking, actually, my husband bought them for himself. Even mad. So, girly color? I think not.
And if you think about it, the only person who has a purple lightsaber
Is
in
Mace
the series is Mace Windu.
Who is far from girly.
Yes. So, what would your favorite movie fight be? All movies are on the table, except animated ones. So, live action.
Okay, so we can't. It's only the movies. We can't talk about the series.
Exactly. That's next.
I feel like we're going to have the same answer.
Yeah. All right. Go.
Okay. Return of the Jedi. Mostly because we have done a choreography inspired by it, and so I feel very connected to that fight.
I love
And
when you guys perform that fight.
I love that
It's
fight.
amazing.
And I also really love the story behind that one. So, I don't know. That's
Luke
just-
falling to the dark side as the fight goes on.
Right. You start seeing it bubble up, and at the same time, kind of like a perfect push and pull, as Luke is becoming dark side, Vader is realizing his mistakes. Actually, realizing might not be the best word, because I feel like Vader always knew his mistakes.
Yeah,
He was just trapped in a shitty situation. But at the end of that fight, it was very, I don't care what happens, I need to atone. And
He also, I really like, there's a kick in the fight. Luke kicks Vader kind of towards the beginning, and almost directly after that kick, it's like Vader comes back, just full force, like, you kicked me, well, here it is.
Mhm.
And it's like, giving him a slap.
John
And one thing that's really strong in that fight as well is the way how the sabers cling to each other, which we talked about in the beginning. And in that one, the sound effect is really high on all the times that they're clinging back and forth and pulling.
like an angsty embrace.
Oh, yes.
It wouldn't be my favorite, but it should be. I'm thinking about it. We have really dissected that fight, and it is a beautiful, beautiful fight. The sounds are what really throw me into a loop. That for me is what I love the most of Star Wars. It's the sounds.
Yes.
And for me, it's the Maul, Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan
I
fight.
figured that was going to be, if you didn't say Return, it was going to be that one, because everything with Maul is just like,
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it's just the sound of blah, 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 blah. It's the first time that we hear that in the movies, and I remember watching that the first time, and it was like, oh my god, that's amazing how that sounds. And I mean, I think the only other sound for me that like really blows it away, other than the PodRacers, where we are right now.
shameless promotion.
The sonic booms that happen in the asteroid field. Yeah, I think it's in Attack of the Clones.
Yes.
Right, with Obi-Wan in the asteroid field, and those bombs that are amazing. That sound like Godzilla in space. I love those. Can we put that on the lightsaber?
Yeah.
I'm sure that sound font probably exists.
Yeah.
I'm sure, yeah.
I really want to do the Maul and Qui-Gon fight with you. I really
Yeah.
want that.
I want to be Qui-Gon.
And I want to be Maul.
So,
I
that'll
wanna
be-
do-
The one in the desert?
No,
No.
the one with Obi-Wan.
Huh?
The one with Obi-Wan.
Ah, okay.
So I guess we need an Obi-Wan.
Yeah. We'll see.
Link has the costume.
That's true.
But it's cool that
I
it also
for
gives.
you.
I know
Yeah,
why always us three.
Yeah, right? I love it.
But
I'll be Palpatine, and then we'll do Maul and Savage.
Oh, that should.
I want to do that too. Are you ready to do the torpedo spin?
Oh
Toward
yeah,
us?
this is where the trampoline comes in.
Awesome.
Definitely, no one's gonna want to be Savage because really it should be Palpatine versus Maul. Because
Yes.
Savage is like, bam, bam, dead.
I love him and I want to be him, but not in that fight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the one with Obi-Wan.
Yes, that's yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Definitely.
talking about the cartoons, what is your favorite fight in the cartoons?
that one.
Yeah. The Palpatine one?
The
Okay.
Palpatine and Maul and Savage.
Yeah.
Honestly, whenever Maul and Savage are against somebody else, those there's only two, and those are my two favorite.
Mhm.
And
That's it.
and
That's
there's-
it?
That's the one.
Actually,
Well,
yeah,
I'll agree
because
with
all
you
my
on that.
fights, my favorite fights from the shows are Savage and Maul versus people. So my other favorite fight is them against Obi-Wan and Ventress.
I love that one.
Ventress Ahsoka.
But my favorite is Ahsoka and Darth Vader.
That, yeah.
I can't have
Amazing.
And that emotion when the
that's
mask grips and he goes, Ahsoka! Oh, that just breaks me and I cry and I just hide. So, yeah, that one and I love the Obi-Wan and Maul and Savage.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool too.
Once I take that staged combat class, guys, we'll get to the fights and the punches and the kicks.
And then we'll steal a trampoline, and then we can do the flips.
Yeah, we're all good. We're all set. So now we're going to talk a little bit about how we all know each other. And that is SaberCraft.
So you guys the best.
Back at you.
So tell us about what inspired you to start SaberCraft.
Vision. I had a vision. I was going through a huge life change. Stressed out with work. I was lonely. It was a different time altogether, and I was going through a life change. So I went down this course of like a year of just changing my life. I went to Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within. I did my yoga teacher training, and just did a whole bunch of stuff that was really out of the ordinary for me. I mean, I've always been a practitioner of yoga, but I decided on becoming a yoga teacher. At that time I was doing it all the time, and that led me down a path of meditating a lot, and with that meditation over and over and over. I started seeing the value of meditation. It went from just trying to clear my mind to opening my mind and being receptive of things. And, I have my journal, my gratitude journal, and, my dream journal, and I always refer back to it, envisioning it like a vision board, what have you. And I'll never forget, it was one day I was in yoga teacher training, and we were doing a long meditation, and for some reason, I just envisioned like a yoga class with lightsabers. I don't know why, but I just did, and it was pretty deep. And at the same time, I was wow, I wonder if that exists. So I wrote it down in my journal. Sure enough, that night I went home, looking up on the internet, does this even exist? And sure enough, that's where I found Ultra Sabers, and then that led me to the Golden Gate Knights and New York Jedi and all these different groups around the world, in Russia and France. And then that piqued my curiosity, and I was like, oh, this exists. And with all of them, I found, all the various styles. I found all the various forms and intentions of each one of those groups. Like, what is it that you're learning in those groups? And I as I was going through the yoga teacher training and going through the life change, I told myself, you know what, I need to fly out to New York, I need to fly out to San Francisco, I need to meet these people. I chatted with them on Facebook, got to know them, and they're wonderful people, and I saw the value of their work, going to their classes, seeing the way how people light up. And then the day came when I ordered an Ultrasaber. So my friend Santiago, who is co-founder of our early work,
Shout out, Santi. We love you.
he and I had talked about it for some time, and I dragged him into some of my yoga classes, and we'd have long talks about this. And when the Ultrasaber came, I was so excited, and I went to his house, and I knocked on the door. He opened up, and I'm like, "You got to see this." And he turned it on, and that was it. I could just see it in his eyes. I was like, "Ah!" And so little by little, the journey has brought fortunes into my life, and brought my wife.
Yay!
I brought you two, wonderful friends, and it built a community by itself. Granted, it's a lot of work. Organizing a community is a big thing. It's hard. And I've done a lot of community work in the past, and I just applied a lot of those principles to our community. So it's pretty easy to pick up a stick and start swinging it in the air. But when you want to make someone shine, and that's what it's all about, because it's the light, right? When you want to shine, that's really what it's all about. And when people watch these movies, that's what they're doing. They're watching this beautiful show, and that's what they want to do. They want to be in that.
So going back to, you mentioned that all the other classes have their own reason for doing it. And you are yoga inspired, as you mentioned. So what is your philosophy behind SaberCraft?
We are all lights. We are all energy. When we come into a room, we have an energy with us. And how we talk with people, how we look at them, how we interact with them, it changes things. It changes behaviors, mindset, and it's incredible. Most people come day in, day out. I'm going to the gym, I'm going to the grocery store, I'm going to work, I'm in my routine, and they're locked in this routine of who they think they are. And that's one of the things that meditation and yoga try to help break that out of you, of like, you're not in this routine. You're going to spend the next hour just going on this moving meditation inside of yourself to discover who you really are. You are beyond your job. You are beyond your friends. You are truly, deeply something that is profound. And, applying that to SaberCraft, that is the intention. We are all lights, and how you shine is up to you. So it's wonderful to see people come to the class and they think that they're going to swing sticks, and next thing you know, they shine, and they find others that illuminate them, that make them shine brilliantly. And you two are examples of that. These two are incredible. And you share something with a partner. It's just like a dance studio or a dance choreography of any sort. That's what it is. Now with yoga, there's this whole movement for the last decade or so that they make it more communal based, and things like acro yoga or couples yoga, where you see the beauty of it, of doing it by yourself, but then when you do it with someone else, the dynamics change.
Yeah.
And it's very trusting. You're not just going to do it with anybody. You have to do it with someone who you trust, like a partner. And if you're swinging a stick at me, I got to trust you.
Yeah. Especially at the speed that Anna and I.
Super slow?
Yeah, super slow. We don't hit each other hard at all. Very light, barely touch each other.
That's awesome. So it's been 2 years of SaberCraft.
It's coming up on that,
Almost, in December,
Almost,
right?
yeah.
So, did you imagine this when you started?
It's interesting you say that. The vision, yes. But what we started, like physically, completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the intention is what it's all about, right? Why do you do the things that you're doing? Not what's your goal. Why is that your goal in the first place? What is your intention? The intention was empowerment. The intention was making people do something so different that they've never done it before and that they would be hooked on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's happened. But when we first started it, it was like, oh, you know what? We should just focus on Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars. And then after a little while, you realize by itself, it works itself out. It's not just about Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has their own grace, their own style. It's just like doing a remix, you know. You've heard a song 1,001 times, but then so a producer comes along, remixes it, and now it's a whole new song. It's a whole new thing, and that's what this is.
Like your fight that you mentioned earlier, the oh my God,
Savage?
no,
Return
of the Jedi
Jedi
inspired fights.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you guys took that fight, and I remember seeing you, because, like, that's when Anna and I joined when we were first going over that one. And, it was very slow, and all the blocks and all the locks that they did in choreography. But when you guys performed it recently, you guys made it look like Dooku and his hot slave.
Yes. No, and you guys do it completely different.
Yeah, and it looked like a completely different fight.
Mhm.
Or, Anna and I...
Do it completely different.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So lots of swinging.
We're like, Vader, I just wanted to.
Everyone has their own flair, and I feel like the environment of the class is really aimed at nurturing that because it's empowerment geared. So nothing is incorrect. There are better ways to execute something, but nothing is just flat out wrong as long as it's safe.
Right.
So, if someone wants to go, I'm going to avoid saying that because it's going to sound like an innuendo. Moving on. I was going to say if someone wants to go hard and fast. Let's not. But there are a lot of different ways to execute a fight. And there are also a lot of different ways to find empowerment through what we do. So I definitely feel like there's been a major metamorphosis from how SaberCraft started to what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like a family.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Like, we are a family. I feel that completely every time we hang out, every time we go to lunch, every time we do anything. It's like, this is
for
like
sure.
a safe space.
Yes. You guys need a tire changed on the side of the road? I will be there to call AAA because I'm not strong enough to.
I can do it. I can do it on a tire change. It's okay. I got
I'll
this.
be there.
I think this is the most brilliant part of it. It's just the family that we make.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many. You find this a lot in dance classes. Salsa groups. And these people who are dedicated to meet all the time, every Saturday, and they have their classes, and then they go to the club after, and they have their dance partners. It's not necessarily their lovers.
Mm-hmm.
These are their dance partners, and they're brilliant, and they forge these relationships, these friendships. And I see the same thing happening with us. We were going through it today, just thinking all the people who've ever come to our classes and have been hardcore dedicated. And where are they now? Those who aren't there. And, she brought up a great observation, which is that
They're all in the military.
in the military, they all left.
That is so true.
Yeah, everyone.
Steven, Malcolm, Sam.
I know.
Zach.
Zach.
Yeah.
I never even got to meet Zach.
Yeah, we never met
And
him.
he became like...
Shout out to you, Zach. I remember you.
Thank you for serving.
Yeah.
That's his
And I mean,
sacrifice.
Kat's not in the military, but she definitely does go out to sea for extended periods
Yes,
of time for her
We
job.
love you. I
We miss
messaged you
you.
earlier today, but
We
No
miss you.
ways.
Come back. But yeah, pretty much everyone who has left the group, quote unquote, is still with us in spirit.
Yeah.
They're only not attending class
Mhm.
because they've moved. Due
Or,
to
like, something
circumstances,
happened, yeah.
You know.
Or they're coming back.
Or they're in FaceTime, because we had a FaceTime member last week.
Yeah,
So-
we did.
Last class, wasn't Steven on
Steven on FaceTime.
FaceTime like the entire time?
From Korea.
From
So-
Korea. So, which choreography has been your favorite to do so far? It could be a movie-inspired one. It could be one that we've made up. Whatever your answer you want to say.
I think the very last chunk of our Kyla versus Rey inspired fight.
Okay.
Yeah. The first 3 of the 4 CMs are kind of, but that last bit.
love those.
I know, me too.
With the inverted.
Yeah.
I'm
So
sure
that's-
it's...
The pseudo staff and
Yeah, that's
the
great.
chamber kick is just amazing.
when we first started practicing that one, I did raise position that class because we didn't have enough, and I loved being her. Only in that part though, because I am high as mine. But yes, so I see it. I know when we performed it, that was the part that got all the whoa, kick her ass, whoa. So
yeah, I agree. The last battle of Kylo versus Ray, I mean, everything about that we've done, I love it. I really dig the Ray spins more than the Kylo spins. I don't know. There's just something about the flair, and I don't know if it's 21 or 22 where I think there's 2 spins.
22.
Oh, I love it, and I love it not just to do it, but just to see it. When you see it, you know, when we've edited our videos, and just watching everyone spin on that, it's beautiful, it's so graceful, and it's so like, damn.
And I love CM24 where you see Rey kind of take over where Kylo left off. So
yeah.
Kylo has his signature curtain block.
Oh, I love that.
Curtain block.
That's
into
literally
attack.
my favorite move. Out of all of the Saber's choreography I've done, it's that one.
It's so much fun. So curtain block into the attack, and Rey at the very last starts to do the curtain block into the attack, and you know we have our kind of C motion where they're both attacking at the same time, and they're meeting awkwardly in the middle. And Kylo typically does a particular attack. Rey does a particular attack, and then they reverse
Yes.
in the very last CM. So they kind of switch positions.
I think when I was like notating that one, it really like it gives you like a whole new like view of the fight that you didn't realize before. It's like, oh, he wasn't actually trying to hurt her throughout the entire thing. Oh, these moves are kind of dark side. I think Rey is a dark side person, maybe, kind of.
You mean those Emperor moves?
Yes. That's going to be a very theory episode coming up shortly.
Lots of headshots.
Yes, exactly. So, I think that's one of the really cool aspects. Like, even the Return of the Jedi one, like, it never dawned on me how dark side Luke was until I saw those moves.
Lots of 1s and 11s.
Yes.
I will have your head.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yes. By the way, guys, if you want to see what the hell we're talking about with numbers and everything, go to SaberCraft.org, and Alfred has been nice enough to make classes online, right?
Yeah. Just go to SaberCraft.org. You can see a number of videos there, and then if you want, you can register, which is free, and you can see more of the videos. You can see both of them instruct you on how to learn a fight inspired by Kylo versus Rey. And they break it down step by step. So you see them go slow, slow, slow. And as they speed up, they go faster and faster. And then if you turn on the closed captioning, on the bottom, you'll see the numbers that we're using as to where to hit. You can also check out, there's a post called the Temporal Notation System. And that's pretty much the numbers that we use. So real quickly, it's all based on a clock. So when you go after a particular target point, you know, this would be the 12 o'clock point, this would be the 1 o'clock point, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, so on and so forth. And then when you defend, you move your hands in the position as if you were the clock. So 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and your arm position exactly where it's at. It's a lot easier once you see the drawings and you see the how it's all broken out.
Action.
And then you can see these two teach you.
Yay! So that being said, we're actually going to show you guys one of the commercials that Alfred has put together for SaberCraft.
Punch it, Chewie!
liked that. And
beyond just the classes, like we're constantly changing. You know, we're evolving, and as we do our performances, but at the same time, we've now uncovered a sport. So there's many ways that you can incorporate these LED stun sabers into any form of sport, and Saber Legion has done it. Saber Legion dresses up in full armor, and it is full contact strikes. So it is definitely not for the meek of heart, and it's super fun. It's exciting with the pads on. You're safe, but it's intense. It's intense. You were gonna say something?
That we are the WWE version of that.
Yeah. So
you smell it.
So if you take choreography and you make it a bit more extreme, then
put a bomb ass intro song.
yeah, you got your personality. That's where our sport kicks in. So we've developed a sport. We call it Lumina, and there are variations. Like soccer, like tennis. You play in teams or one against the other, and it's a lot of fun. So just stay tuned. Keep coming back to SaberCraft.org as we slowly bring it out into the open.
I will put him on the spot. He has not let Anna and I be a team yet. I think he's afraid.
Can we?
You may tear a hole in the universe. I'm just saying.
It's so fast. We're not even gonna see it.
I won last time.
Huh?
I'm proud of it. I won last time.
She did. She
Top
won me.
But it is so much fun, and I like that it's sports and it's like competition, but we also have teams. So
It's really fun. It also puts you on the spot, so it's like you get ready for the performances that we do in like bigger events, because it's like, oh, all these eyes on me, oh, I can't mess up, and it like kind of trains you for that.
Yeah, it does. It really helps. Like it really makes you puts you in the moment. It makes you present. You have to have your wits sharp. You're aware of everything, and the dance is so fast.
Yes.
It's so intense, and it's great because it's early. We're just seeing the early versions of it now, and folks are gonna come. They're gonna add their own little style, their own little zing, and next thing you know, it's gonna be like, what?
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Cole does this really cool little jumpy thing whenever he comes in, and it's like that's his own flair already. Or like he is. Or like in the first time we tried it, and I almost cut George's head off, and then stopped. I felt like a movie. I was like, whoa, right there next to his face.
Total
like
control.
An inch away.
Yeah.
I felt like Kylo Ren when he's putting the saber next to Rey's face. I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
fear me.
But it's like so fast because that when you look at the video, it's so fast. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, but all of that just happened in that span of time. Julie had an entire conversation with herself. Came back.
Like great, man.
I love the crowd reaction when
Yeah.
things like that
Or
happen.
Alfred, right when we finished, he was like, what just happened there? With the biggest smile on his face.
Yeah, you come in.
Yeah, it's a lot of
It's
fun.
so good.
Stay tuned.
And it's intense. Those
It's
3
really
minutes
fun.
killed me.
Oh, yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
So we have a couple games for you guys.
Bring it.
Alright, so these are what we call our speed questions. We did them in our very first episode, but we did not speed them.
We
did
cheated.
them regular speed. Yes, we cheated. So the point is that we're going to ask you a question, and you both have to answer as quickly as possible. It's going to be like a 5-second thing.
Wait, we both answer at the same time?
Well, no. We didn't think
Is
so.
it like a relay race? Like, okay, your turn. Are we doing that?
We can
Yeah.
do one question.
Alright, let's do it.
We
Okay.
can all lose track of whose question
You
it
want
is.
to-
It's okay.
You want to start?
You hold the
Pass
lightsaber.
the saber. It's our
You want
baton.
to start it? Okay, you're starting it.
Okay.
Oh,
So
I
you know,
did not
one
realize
question,
I was
one question,
volunteering.
one question.
Yeah, so this will be 1, 2,
I just
3,
like to hold
4.
it.
I have the same.
Do we have to do this the entire time that we're answering the question?
Go.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Background music.
Ready? Favorite Jedi.
1, 2,
2,
3, 4, 5.
You
You gotta answer that.
Oh, me, favorite Jedi, Obi-Wan.
Okay.
Bam.
That's it. Favorite Sith.
Palpatine.
Favorite Rebel. 1, 2, 3,
Han.
4. Okay.
Okay. Favorite droid?
1, 2.
Chopper.
Okay.
Yay!
Are you a Jedi or a Sith? 1,
Jedi.
2.
Oh!
Same question.
And that's how this works.
Rebel or Empire?
Rebel.
You guys are too good. Same question.
Rebel. Ironically, it doesn't seem like it makes sense, but it does.
We did the
does.
same things.
Favorite movie? 1, 2, 3.
Empire.
Okay.
Whoa!
Favorite character?
Padme.
1.
Oh!
Surprise.
Favorite fight, which was kind of cheating today.
Yeah, we're talking Maul, Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon.
Favorite lightsaber color?
Purple.
Okay. And that is it.
You got the touch.
Wow, Palpatine.
And Padme.
And
Interesting.
did not expect Palpatine. Why is he your favorite? Just quickly.
My favorite Sith? Because he operates perfectly in the shadows up until the very last moment.
When you think about it, I would have never guessed that Molly was a Sith until she cosplayed one. So,
And then it's like, it all makes sense.
are you Plagueis then?
Maybe.
Interesting.
But yeah, everyone's like, oh my god, Vader's such a villain. He's such
We're
a
talking
bad guy.
about Vader.
No, but I'm about to debunk that because everyone's like, Vader's such a villain. He's such a bad
He becomes
guy.
a good guy.
He's despicable. I fear him so much. But Palpatine is pulling all the strings.
Yeah.
That's not Vader.
Mm-hmm.
It's Palpatine manipulating him. And everyone blames Vader. Even the viewers, knowing that Palpatine is doing this, are blaming Vader. But it's Palpatine the whole damn time. So he gets what he wants and none of the blame.
Yeah.
So I
And
feel like as far as being a Sith goes, that's like,
And he hides being, he becomes the
Chancellor.
most important figure
mhm,
in the galaxy.
mhm.
And he hides his presence because, I mean, they can always feel when there's a Sith, but they never sense it out of him.
Right.
Mhm.
Because he's that cloaked.
It's
Nice.
awesome. So now we're gonna do a couple of trivia questions.
You
Okay.
can play as a team.
So now I think this should be the opposite. I think you guys should compete against each other.
It's
I
like,
have to vibrate.
I wouldn't vibrate.
Mine
Well,
the
you-
same.
Because you have to set the alarm to be on vibrate because it assumes that you're going to put your phone on vibrate and forget it's on vibrate. So if you have it set to a ringer,
So just as a little disclaimer in case these videos are really choppy, we've been having issues of our cameras just stopping after like 10 minutes of recording. So yeah, editing might go really horribly, but whatever. Hopefully it's cool.
the
Yeah.
content's going to be amazing. Regardless.
Yeah. So we're gonna pause for a second and then we'll be right back. You guys won't even notice.
Like Palpatine.
So now we're gonna do a little competitive game. So you guys will be against each other. And these cards come from our Trivial Pursuit game, which we've actually played before in game 9. So,
While drinking, I don't suggest that.
but we did really good because they are hard questions and we answer almost all of them.
I have an idea. What if we give them the sabers and we make it like the little box in trivia games?
Oh, to see who answers first.
So Molly gets red because she admitted that she was Sith, and Alfred gets purple.
You can see him?
Yeah.
Check this.
Because Alfred is Mace.
Okay. All right.
Perfect.
So whoever lights it up first gets to answer the question.
No pressure.
Wait,
Wait,
okay.
we have to wait until the question is
Yes.
finished,
The
right?
one-
I'll say go.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Can be cheating.
Are you ready?
Yes.
No.
We will do this anyway.
Okay. First question. Toon. Who says to Rey, "I am no Jedi, but I know the Force"? Go.
Oh.
So fast!
And they both
Yeah.
Oh shit, and now I go blank, of course, because I'm terrible at games. Yeah.
Maz.
Maz
Yeah.
Kanata.
Yes.
Very good.
So point one.
Happened.
It's the
Hey,
game.
Sure.
why? Yours, I was just like,
Alright. right, so question 2. Who says, everything is proceeding as I have foreseen it? Go.
Palpatine.
Yeah.
Your favorite, Molly. Your favorites.
Not good with quotes.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, the green one?
Yep.
Okay. Which planet does Obi-Wan Kenobi leave, abandoning mortally wounded Anakin Skywalker? Go.
No, Jesus. What's wrong with me?
Mustafar.
I knew that one. I'm just over here fucking it
They're like really small.
Okay. What does the stormtrooper at the Mos Eisley checkpoint demand to see from Luke Skywalker? Go.
Some kind of favors.
Lightsaber.
Documentation?
Identification. We'll take it.
Sabers. Okay. Last one. What binds the galaxy together, according to Obi-Wan Kenobi?
The Force.
Yes!
I was waiting for go.
Go!
I'm cheating!
Ah, that's it. So ways of the Sith. That's it. I know who I'm competing against.
Aww.
Okay.
The wonderful Sith.
You have. Wait, I don't know how many points were.
3 versus 2.
Alfred, you have
There
one.
could be
baby.
only one.
What? Oh, yeah. Do I get to like
It's because the Jedi always
Wow.
win.
the heads?
Yes, you guys bob all the heads.
I love these. They're so cute.
Okay, guys, so thank you for coming into our
Yes.
show.
Thank
You
you
guys
so
were
much.
awesome. The conversation was incredible, and we thank you, and you guys are the best.
Thank you for
so
being our
much.
first guest
Yay!
ever. It was awesome and super fun.
Check out their fights on SaberCraft.org. They're amazing.
Time well spent.
So just for our viewers, where can we find you guys online?
SaberCraft.org, or you can also go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/SaberCraft.org.
Or the Instagram that I run, SaberCraft_official.
I don't think there's a .org on the end of the Facebook URL.
Oh, there's none?
No, I think it's just /Facebook because .org directs it to.
Okay. Yeah. Just find us. Just
We'll
look
put it
up
on
SaberCraft.
the
We
should be the only
exist.
Yeah.
And since we exist, you can just Google it.
There's only one other SaberCraft Instagram, which is why we have the word official, and it's like
Minecraft.
it's a Minecraft unactivated one by some like 9-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows the world that he's built? That's why
Who
he
knows?
built a world so large.
That he's
scared.
lost in it. Oh my god. I was just gonna say, oh man, that's a whole other story though.
Sucked in like a bad 90s TV show.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a whole Disney Channel original movie about it.
Okay, but thank you guys.
Yes,
and
thank you.
We hope that you guys come back soon.
Yeah.
And we love you
Yes.
guys.
For sure.
Me too.
And for all our visitors, may the force be with you.
Thank
and
you
this
for-
was
Episode 3. I was gonna say that too, so I didn't cut it off